Hello everyone and welcome to the Dazzletek tutorial series. My name is Kevin and in this tutorial we're going to talk about triggers. Now if you connect a sensor to your mirror module, you can make your light behave differently if you let it trigger by a sensor. So to see how to do this, go to the equipment inventory, then select your device. And then click on Dynamic Lighting. Here your options for a trigger will be set. The low to high and high to low properties are not used, so you don't need to fill these in. First comes Activate. Check this checkbox to turn your trigger on or off. Then comes the sensor group. There are several options that you can enter here. You can enter the name of the dimming group. Now this can be any of the groups that are part of this network, which means that this trigger will work for all the mirror modules within this network with this group. You can enter the identifier, which means that this trigger will only work for the mirror module with the identifier that has been specified. Or you can enter the word network. Now this means that this trigger will happen for all the mirror modules connected to their network. Now a network consists of the Antares and all its connected mirror modules, which you can identify by the controller ID and all the mirror modules set to it. Now the start delay will be the delay in seconds until your trigger actually happens. For instance, putting a 10 here will make your lights go to the set light level 10 seconds after the sensor has been triggered. If you want the trigger to immediately happen, enter a 0. However, if you want multiple lights to go on simultaneously, you should not set this property to 0. Now when a sensor connected to a mirror module detects something, that mirror module will trigger its light instantly. However, it will take some time before the other mirror modules in the same dimming group or network will trigger their lights instantly as well. Now putting the start delay at 10, however, will cause all the mirror modules within the sensor group to trigger their light level 10 seconds after the sensor has detected something, but they will go on simultaneously. Next comes the high light level. This is the light level percentage that your lights will be when the trigger happens. In other words, when the trigger line will be high, the mirror module will set your light to this light level. The maintained delay is the amount of seconds your light will stay at the set light level until it reverts back to its schedule or default light level. For example, if we were to put this at 10 and this at 20, it means that when my sensor detects something, the mirror modules will wait 10 seconds after the sensor has triggered, set their lights to 90% light level, and maintain that light level for 20 seconds and then go back to their original schedule, or if there was no schedule set, they will go to their default light level. Next comes edge. Here you can configure the behavior for your trigger. Let's compare this behavior with a relay. When you set it to on open, the trigger will start the moment the trigger line opens. When set to on closed, the trigger will start the moment the line closes. Now for on open and on close, the maintain delay will be used to determine how long the light will stay at its triggered light level. When you set to from close to open, the trigger will stay active while the line is closed. Once it opens again, the trigger will end. And finally, when set from open to close, the trigger will stay active while the line is opened. Again, when the line closes, the trigger will end. Now if from close to open and from open to close, the maintain delay will be used to determine how long the light will stay at its set light level after the line opens or closes again. Next comes the edge mode. You can choose between 3 options here. When you set to higher, your trigger will only happen if your high light level is higher than the light level it is at the moment it triggers. For example, if you set your high light level to 90, and in your schedule your light level is 50, your trigger will happen. If in your schedule the light level would have been 100, the trigger will not happen. The same will happen when setting the edge mode to lower, only the other way around. For example, if in your schedule the light level is 100 and you have set your trigger light level to 90, that means that this trigger will happen. Now setting it to always means that your trigger will happen at all times. And finally, press save to complete. So let's take a look at what we just created. A sensor detects an object and turns its relay open. At the moment, our schedule says that our light should be off at 0%. However, since our edge mode is at always, it doesn't matter. Our trigger will happen at all times. Now 10 seconds later, the lights will go on at 90%. They will stay at 90% for 20 seconds and then they turn off again. Let's take a look at another example. For instance, our light is now currently at 50% as set in its schedule. When a sensor detects an object, it closes its relay. While the sensor keeps detecting the object, the relay will remain closed. And since we set our edge to from closed to open, that means that this trigger will happen while the relay is closed. Now 15 seconds after it has been detected, it will set the lights to 100%. Since in our schedule the light level was set at 50% and the high light level of the trigger was set at 100 and our edge mode is set to higher, that means that this trigger is valid and will happen. If the edge mode were set to lower, it would not happen. Now all the mirror modules in our network will go to 100% light level. The object now leaves our sensor, causing the relay to go open again. The mirror modules will keep the light at 100% for 60 more seconds before returning to their original schedule, which is back at 50. And that's it for this video. You should now be able to use sensors along with your mirror modules in order to make triggers happen and make your lights behave differently. Now if you want to see how to physically connect a sensor to a mirror module, please watch the tutorial video Mirror Install. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching and see you next time.